I don't know if I'm gonna use this video, but I'm kind of wanting to try and just talk about stuff that's going on behind the scenes with some music stuff. Seeing as there's a lot of kind of uncertainty in the art world, it's kind of hitting music too. So I just want to show, kind of show my work just a little bit and talk about it. If I sound nervous as hell, it's because I am. I'm not good at doing this kind of stuff. Okay, well, I'm looking for some tracks that actually have MIDI data on them, a big clump of them, so I can kind of look at them. Okay, I'm gonna play now. So there's kind of a lot going on there. I of course have my kit. I don't really use a lot of, how do you say, like drag and drop loops or anything like that, or like stuff like that. I think that stuff is totally valid, and I know people can do crazy shit with it. It's like awesome. But I like kind of getting in the nitty gritty and getting in there. That I wish I could open this MIDI editor. It's really just not wanting to open. Is it because I'm recording my voice? That might be it. That's okay. But I like, on the drums, I place all those notes pretty much individually. If I know it's going to repeat, then I will copy and paste. I like to do variations pretty much at the end of each bar. Or if there's like some sort of repeating like hi-hat or something, I like to really, really vary it up. But I also like to keep the steady pulse going. It's a lot of stuff to juggle, but it's a lot of fun. Like, you can hear the snare hit on the end of the one measure, and then you hear the clap on the end of the other measure instead. It's just little shit like that. The bass on this track, I don't normally do this, but I did a shit ton of like layering with a lot of Serum plugins, and I named them dumb stuff just so I can, remember. Called this one Overblown because, it's overblown, and it's just copy pasted like different octaves. I could just transpose it, and would probably be best actually is if I made one MIDI track, and because these are all the same thing mostly, and just had to send and have it send to all of these, and then just transpose it within the Serum plugin. But I'm lazy and weird, and like to see, I guess, I like to have the option to like get in here and do different stuff with like modulation and stuff. Like this crunch, I call it crunch modula. This thing is doing a lot of modulation throughout there's a dead spot there. Other than that, it's doing a lot of modulation through the piece. You can hear it like scrunching, and it's just like, it's awesome. And it's kind of blowing over there. And it'll kind of like mix them both. A lot of this stuff is like, I don't think you'd be able to pull it apart, like the bass layering stuff. But if I'd mess with it so much. If I wanted to, like, I was trying to make room in the mix, and I would pull a layer out, and then I would notice that layer is gone. Like, something is like that part that texture that I like, the little subtle thing is like really missing, and it's so tough. It's so tough. All these little guys bring some kind of little texture to the table. I really like the sort of crunchy lo-fi stuff on that bottom one that's solo. And lo-fi brass thing, like, sticks on top of it. And crunch modulo really makes it powerful and gives it that, the modulated texture that I have on it. And then the overblown adds some sort of like stereo width to it. A little more girth to it. I'm gonna unmute all that now. Sometimes I'll be like really in the zone, and I've got all these different like solo tracks. I'm like, okay, and I keep it on playback, and I like unsolo every track by holding control, and I'll scare the shit out of myself like this every once in a while. I've got the master turned down quite a bit. I normally don't have it turned down so much. What I'll do is I'll keep master at 0 just so I have like a baseline, and then I'll have my volume mixer open, and I'll usually recently if you are like following me, you probably know me for like Rescored and stuff, but I have learned so much from then, and I've been trying new stuff since then. I've been like, I turn it up pretty damn high, to be honest, but I try to keep my mix low. I've heard that helps from a good friend of mine who's always helped with music stuff. He says that that's what he does, and that's what he hears people do, and I gave it a try, and I find it works a lot nicer. But then I do have to get into a lot more stuff, like actually properly compressing and limiting and all that stuff to make sure the clipping isn't horrendous. I know that's been an issue in the past with me. What else is going on here? I have this like layered poly section. They've all kind of got their own feel to them again. Especially when I throw EQs and stuff on them, subtractor, stereo, enhancer. I've been using that a bit more. That's been interesting. And then there's the ridiculous dubstep-y stuff. I don't know how to do it very well at all. It's so funny. I used to kind of like, it's dubstep. Like, some people just kind of, it's ridiculous, right? I used to like laugh at it. They put it in like, oh, the MLG compilation dubstep, and I would like kind of shirk at it. I think that's the word I'm looking for. And then I try it. Like a year ago or so, I tried doing it myself, and it's actually very difficult. And there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm still kind of grasping at it. And now I like go back and I listen to those tracks, those like old like tracks that are people kind of seem, it seems like they're cheesy nowadays or something, and I'm like this is dated, but it's like crazy how they were able to do that stuff and put all that stuff together, and I have crazy respect for that now, and I've been listening to a lot more electronic stuff just to appreciate it and to find more inspiration and to just like, I don't know. It's just awesome. It's fun. It's like, when I try and do a lot of trade-off stuff, but I see it kind of gets repetitive. I think the panning is really fun to do. I think the Queen Bee track is probably the best that I've done it. This is the Moonlord track, by the way. And dude, this is like, I've been talking for how long? 10 minutes? Hopefully I'm not clipping so bad. Oh, I am clipping pretty bad. That's okay. I've been talking for like 10 minutes. And there's like still so much here. There's so much that goes into it that the like AI and computer generated stuff, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like, there's like interesting technical stuff that goes into it that is way beyond my comprehension, but there's like the process for a human creating music, even through like a digital medium, like just a DAW like this, there's just so much that goes into it. What were they cooking here? What was this? Why is the volume envelope moving like that? I make these little tweaks in the moment. I really like that instrument. It's so crunchy and it's like tires like squealing. It's so funny. Serum has been really kind to me. I've been honestly, I've mostly been using like presets. Here's kind of how my sort of process works with new applications. I'll get like a new like huge like plugin. This has been going on for years, like cyclical. I'll get like a new plugin that's like huge to me and exciting, and there's all these different presets, and I play with the presets and use different presets and experiment for like a long time with them. And I'll eventually, when I'm like more comfortable, I'll start turning knobs and like really like getting into it. Like with Expand, I've been doing hold on. I'm sure there's an Expand track in here somewhere, but just real quick. With Expand, I've, been goofing around with stuff a lot more and making my own stuff. Same with, I use, hold on. What the hell's it called? I get them mixed all the time. Super 8. I use Super 8 sometimes to make, I don't make complex stuff with it. I make really simple synths in, like Super 8 and do weird workarounds with it and stuff. In Serum, I'm kind of finally reaching the point. It's so intimidating. I'm kind of finally reaching the point where I'm able to mess with, I was able to mess with knobs, and I was able to mess with this matrix thing, like all this crazy, like automation with the LFOs and the mod wheel and all the macros. It's like, it's so overwhelming going into it. And I probably should, but I don't really like look at tutorials because I like to figure stuff out myself and experiment. But I know I probably should. I probably should be reading the manual, especially with really big stuff. Like I use East-West Opus quite a bit, and it's kind of strange. There's like a lot going on in there, especially with the choir stuff. But again, I will just use presets, and then as I like learn, I'm like, okay, I know what this does, I know what this sounds like. I really want it to sound like this, and I'll go through it and I'll mess with it, and just kind of learn new stuff. And then soon I'm able to make my own instruments, which is always cool. But a lot of the times, I just heavily modify presets. What else is going on here? I like that little. I love making the little screech come in a little like early. It's kind of it's pretty goofy. It's like hectic, but it's goofy as hell. And I love that. Yeah. And then I've got these pretty cool synths from not Magic 8-bit plug. That's what I use for like, the Famicom sounding stuff. It's not Jenny either. I always type in Jenny. I used to use Jenny way back in the day. God, what is it called? How about I check? ChipSynth Mega Drive, ChipSynth ND. I use this for the ChipSynth sounds, and I really love them. It's so weird. I came to really love those types of sounds from Spelunky HD's soundtrack. I really like those sounds, and I don't know, it's just awesome. And so I get to kind of like, it's so funny because I feel old, but I'm pretty young. So a lot of times what I hear is like inspired by, for me, old shit that I've never heard of. And so I'll think I'm like, I don't want to say I'll think I'm hearing like an original thing, because it is an original thing, but I'll think I'm hearing, it's like some new thought to me, right? Introduced through a medium. But that new thought was introduced by something else to that person who wrote that. And so then I see that, and it's like, it's similar, but it's still wildly different, and it's cool. I'm just like, just yapping. What is bro yapping about? I'm having fun with it though. And anyway, I have these soaring, sort of like screaming, like long-winded stuff come in. And it's kind of more serious, with the hectic stuff still going on in the background. Alright, I like to do, especially in Zenith, I like to do all these little, vocal samples of just me making stupid sounds, or like I'll pull from various, things that I've heard and I think are funny. I think this sound is just me doing something for this in particular. Well, that didn't play back very nicely, but it's just fun. It's really funny to me. But it's also really gamey to me in a way. Hearing that stuff sampled like that. Because when I'm playing a game, I always hear the sound effects like repeating all the time with like a pitch variation and stuff. And I think putting that in the music is really fun to do too. Oh geez, what was going on here that I wanted to talk about? Oh, sort of throughout this piece, I have this like chippy ARP through Magic Gated plug that does. I just kind of give it that texture, since I know it's intended to be played. This album, the Zenith album, is like intended to be played either through playing Terraria or just listening to it and not knowing what the hell Terraria is or any like the source stuff. I really tried to make it interesting for people who don't want to play the game or have any interest in it or know what the hell it is. But I also wanted to make it interesting and all that and fun for the people who do play the game. Making all these mixes, I'm telling you right now, making all these mixes to fit in the game is going to be a nightmare. For some reason, making mixes to mod into games is so hard. You have to get them so loud, but not peaking, but also not sounding flat. And it's this ridiculous tug-of-war compromise of tweaking all of these little knobs on compressors and limiters and EQs and messing with all these. It's ridiculous. It's just crazy. It's so difficult. But yeah, here's the chiptune arts. It's being run through a program I love, Bionic Delay. Okay, so my programs are some of them are kind of weird, because I'll just look up, like, when I'm younger, like, I'm like 16 or 18, I look up, oh, delay plugins for free online. And it'll be like, oh, here's 10 delay plugins for free online. And I'm like, thanks. And then I use it, and I never use another one, like, ever again. Unless there's some, like, really specific thing that I want. I'm just now seeing that I wrote all this dumb shit at the top to, kind of mark the piece. W as well, B section. Why is it A and B again? What were they doing? Anyway, I totally forgot what I was talking about. And then we have that same, yeah, it's the same section, it's twice B again. Same section repeated, but with the sample sound instead of this kind of tire screech. Skitter runs, I love doing those. What's going on here? The chip is going on. These like little turnarounds, and then I do these runs. It's just fun to listen to me. But it's hectic when you're playing the game. That part is really weird, and it's really unique to this piece, I think, in the album. Because, you know, I have that sort of repeating section, and I do I wouldn't say like a chromatic down, but I do like this downward. These scales that go up, but they also cascade downward. And I thought it'd be funny to reverse that last cascading section. So it kind of goes up. So it'll go down into like, you know, madness, and then it'll skate up to shoot up into the next section, because we're done repeating that stuff. That section is over. And I have it reversed here. So I'll render it and I'll give it a tail. A pretty generous tail. And if it was like clicking or something and I was like honestly too lazy to render it a longer tail because I'm not gonna notice, I would give it a little fade in. But I don't think it's not like clicking in. No, it's not. It's fine. I don't know what the hell this is. I like curse a lot, so I'm sorry. I don't know what this is. Stuff to sample glued. I think it was from a Lethal Company recording of mine. And I went through and I picked out little sounds that I made that I liked. Because I'm really vocal when I play that game and make stupid sounds more than usual. Which is a lot. And so what I've done, I think I took some kind of funny sentence and I chopped all the consonants out of it. So I grouped them together, all these vowels. So, and I ran it through a program I really love called, plugin I really love called Bitspeak, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's being run through here. An update's available. No, I'm good for now. It would take me to the same update page. I'm not sure what it had to show me. Anyway. And I don't know what I was saying. Oh, I think it was some update that came out, some new guy came out, it was fun. And then I played. That's also me. That's from, I was like gonna do like custom Left 4 Dead lines for, in a group, like in-joke, we were all gonna do, not all of us, but, you know, 4 of us were gonna do Left 4 Dead recordings and like replace the game, you know, the voice sounds with us. And it's just a funny idea. So, it kind of didn't go anywhere. But I have all these recordings of me just like yelling and screaming and saying stupid shit. So, I'm able to sample that kind of stuff and it's pretty fun. And so it's kind of like this, it does like the reverse, does the, you know, it does the sort of, and then the boom. You know, like we're in the next section. It's so fucking confusing too. It's so silly to talk about. And I have this, I like sampled a plugin that I have. I have an Opus. I've got like some opera library, and I sampled it so it sounded so retro, but I did sample it so it would sound like it was sampled, like it was retro, because it is sampled. And that's what it was like the real opera. I've just sampled it. And I sampled it through Battery 4, because I'm, like, bizarre. What was the faux opera? I bet it's some Sforzando. Yeah. Tron voice lead. It's from... There's Friday Night Funkin' stuff in there, don't worry. I'm normal. I don't know what it's from. I think it was from... Dude, I actually don't know. It doesn't really lead back to it. it was retro synth. I don't even know what this is. I must have downloaded this years and years and years ago and never really messed with it too much. Yeah, Tron Voice Lead, retro synth PCs, SF2. Fucking source on. Because I wanted something that sounded really fake. Not really fake, but you know, like, it's obviously, it's noticeably not real. And I wanted something you can tell it's not real, but it's from something quite real. And of course, these are little reference sections because I love doing those. I've been trying not to do them too much in Zenith, even though there's like biomes. It's difficult to have the self-restraint for that for me, because I'm, how you say, autistic. So I got, with Rescored, it was too much. It was too much. It's like all listening to the same mush. I don't like it. I think there's a lot of variety in Zenith, though, and I'm super happy, but it also is cohesive. I've got these weird sounds. I don't know what this is. It's my voice. I'm not sure what it's from. I think it's just the same sound clips, but slowed the hell down. Yeah, that's what it looks like from the waveform. That's it. Kind of gets ridiculous. It kind of gets to. It's like, it's crescendo there. It's like top. It's a tipping point. Like it's just totally overblown. I'm trying to find a certain instrument. Oh, the anvil. I really love the anvil. I have these ideas pop in my head. I'm like, oh shit, I should put an anvil there. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, I wanted impacts there. I wanted inputs on the oompa. And, on the offbeat. And the anvil seemed cool. And I have it like, I think I have it panning. I think I have left and right panning set up in such a manner in 2 tracks because it was something with like, I didn't want to pan it sounded strange panning the reverb or the delay or something. I'm still figuring stuff out, honestly. It adds so much, I feel like. It's awesome. And I referenced the main theme of this, of the game. I really held off on it, referencing the main theme of the game. I wanted to, reference it in the overworld music. Whoa, we put it in the fucking windy day. I kept that shit on lockdown, in the pocket, in inventory, waiting in the bag, and then I pull it out in the Moonward. Not what it sounds like. It's so awesome. It's pretty. It's like kind of gamey, and then it gets pretty just almost theatrical, just because of the composition. It's not really the arrangement. And it gets kind of wacky at the end, and I think that's kind of what Zenith is, and I think it's awesome. And that's why it's the main theme, and I've just stuck with it. I was working on it for days. I'm like, oh, should this be the main thing? Should this be the main thing? And there was different versions that I went through until I got to something that sounded really pretty, but also had like a grand point and ended on this sort of stinger that was silly and dissonant. And this section, I toiled over making the sound how I wanted to. I messed with it so much. I would like sleep on it, which is a big thing for me. Is I tend to write very late at night or early in the morning, and then I will sleep on it, and I'll wake up and I'll listen to it, and I'll either be pleasantly surprised, or it'll need tweaks, or it sounds like shit. You know, I just don't know. And if it sounds like shit, then it really needs a lot of TLC, or it needs to just be gone. And there's a lot of tracks, not a lot of tracks, there's some tracks in Zenith that are just like gone. Well, God, the locked instrumentals, like whatever. But I've got more. I promise, I've got more than 4. That's just how many I put on that little album thing. But I want to listen to it again. I toiled over it. It was crazy. Pull It Back with Randurer. Okay, me from a month ago. And then I have this compliment section. And I give it a Calamity theme sort of nod. Not the Calamity theme, like it's not a specific melody pulled out of it. But it's just the thematic elements of Calamity. A lot of the Calamity mod for Terraria, a lot of times they've got this they have these like signature textures and instruments. I think it's really cool. Particularly, they've got these crazy arps going on, and they'll have the chromatic like tubular orchestra bells a lot. I think people joke about them, those chimes, but they sound really nice. I kind of wanted to nod to it, and this seemed like a nice place to do it. Oh, it's awesome. What's all going on in there? We got the tubular bells. I've got some dumb blowout guitar for texture. Simple Magic 8 that carried over from the Zenith main theme section. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That was a mistake. I don't know how I did that. I'll investigate. And I get the real opera sample. I put it into chords and it sounds ridiculous and it's awesome. Because the vibrato, because the way I sampled it, the vibrato gets really slow on the low notes. But not so much that it's like super obnoxious, but it's just like, and it's an interesting thing to me. And then this is kind of like I wouldn't say stagnant, but it's like, it's a pretty straight slap. I'm like talking in my like insane, like personal, like, thought, things I don't really put to words when I'm writing music. They're just feelings and thought processes that are kind of abstract. And so when I say straight slap, it's like, what are they talking about that is so ridiculous? And it is ridiculous. It's just, I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for it. There's no vibrato. It's very like flat, but I don't want to say it's flat because that sounds like, you know, it's fucked up, but or boring, but it's not. That's why I do all this like layering stuff. We've got more poly layering still going on. It's got this fun chromatic there. The bass is still going. It's given up the first beat there. drums are still going off. Oh, I love that. I put that in way too much, but I love it. I think I first, like, noticed it when I was playing one of the Doom games a long time ago. One of the original Doom games, not the reboot series. And they just putting the ride cymbal, or it was either Doom or some of Danny Bernowski's stuff, like Super Meat Boy stuff, or some of the rockier parts of Flash Isaac. I love having the bum bum gang 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 bum bum gang 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 on the ride cymbal. It's so awesome. Right there. It's awesome. It really punches through, or pierces through. It's great. I don't know what the hell this is. I think I was wanting to sidechain some sections, and it wasn't sounding how I wanted it to, so I just said, fuck it, I'll mix around it and do it how I want. And I've got these chords that I build up off of. So I'll have those chords, and I'll write. I think I wrote out. Yeah, I wrote out like these ridiculous, because of the Calamity Knot. It just sounds fun. I wrote out these crazy lines. I love that part. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Oh, and it gets like triumphant at the end because it's just a big thing. The hero's fighting this big boss. Awesome. And I pulled this lead from I was really specific. I really wanted it for here. It's some Serum preset. I pulled it from a track that's not I haven't like put anywhere yet. It's got lyrics that are very dear to me that I wrote, but I did it in a way just for fun, just be silly about it, because you can't take I can't take everything too seriously like that. And I had this lead solo in it that was just like the best lead solo I have ever written, and I was like, I want something like that for for the Moonlord track, so I'll just port it in, not the actual solo but the instrument, and play with it and have fun with it. It really has fun with the portamento stuff there. And then it gets a bit more serious after that triumphant, the triumphant conclusion there. What is this? What's all this going on? Oh, it's our weird time signature. I love just put the weird time sig section in unison. of course, getting that from listening to Frank Zappa. He does stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And I hear it in other places too, of course. What is this? This is what that like sort of grinding, like sustained sound is. It's pretty breathy. This is from just like damage lead-ins or something. Damage hit tails, and I've got this ping pong pan disabled on it. I must have put it on and didn't like it and turned it off and just forgot to get rid of it. EQ'd, of course, with my super bare bones. My super bare bones built-in EQ that I tend to use. And I've got this like more advanced like distortion stuff that I kind of don't really know how to mess with yet. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still, like I said earlier, I'm still figuring out the knobs and shit. But the presets are interesting, and I'll see, how the knobs change with the different presets. And I think it's a really cool way to learn, to be honest. I'm defending the hell out of myself. I realize. I know this was a lot. I just wanted to show that I give a shit. And that there's actual thought processes behind this, and there's a lot to it. And there's a lot more to it for me than typing in a prompt. And it's like, I feel like for me, that really matters. I would not get the same out of this, and I don't think my listeners honestly would get the same out of this if I were just typing, like a prompt or something for some AI to do. Anyway, if you actually got to the end of this, you're like amazing. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. I don't imagine anyone to. Bye bye.